Hey, everybody, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co CEO of DC Studios. So, as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2.
Okay, so Aquaman 2, I think we knew was going to happen. The Flash, we knew the movie was going to come out. Did you see the statement that Zaffron put out about Ezra Miller and his future in the DCU? I swear to God, they are painting this man as if he is some troubled soul who's just been going through so much and needs our patience and needs our well wishes and blah blah blah. Fam, they making him seem like he's a victim of some circumstances that he didn't create. I swear to God. And it's like, yeah, he's on a long road to recovery and we're just gonna be here for him.
What?
So, the future is unknown, but we'll it's kind of like they're kicking it down the road.
The Flash must be the greatest superhero movie ever created.
I think it's what we were talking about initially when we first started talking about The Flash. Something happens in that movie that sets the course for where they want to take the DCU. That's why some of the properties, maybe Wonder Woman 3, we'll see, Aquaman 2, and, The Flash are still there because they're going to use it as a jumping off point. The one thing that you can kind of track through, film franchises when they're in transition is that most of the time the last phase or the last go of films right before the transition are shit. And the reason why they're shit is because either A, the franchise has nosedive, and that's just kind of like the swan song or the final cry, i.e., Amazing Spider-Man 2, or no one's invested in those movies because they know something different is going to be done, i.e., Dark Phoenix, New Mutants, that kind of stuff, because it's like, well, this isn't going anywhere. They got sold, so it's dead after this. We're good. What I think is they're trying to make those movies connected enough to make people care about them, even though they're going in a different direction.
Gotcha.
You have to give it enough connectivity. You have to acknowledge it because you still got to sell it, even though you might not want. And I'm not talking about Ezra Miller right now. That's complete bullshit. I'm talking about Jason Momoa, Gale. I think Blue Beetle is part of their future. Blue Beetle was one of the newer things. We haven't even got a Blue Beetle film yet. This will be the first one. So I think that direction was new enough that James Gunn got there and he's able to put his imprint on it. Right? It's not an established IP, so he can change things to make it fit what he wants to do. The old guard stuff, Gale, Jason, and Shazam, that's the kind of stuff you have to keep people engaged with, because it's either going to be Elseworld stuff or it's not going to be continued going forward. The Ezra Miller thing, though, I don't know why they are so married to this man. Holding people at gunpoint in a hotel room for days, groomed a young woman. Yeah. A young person. What was she, like 15, 16 years old? He broke into somebody's house, choke slammed a girl apparently. Not just, oh, he's a bad person. No, like he's assaulted people. How is this man's case going? Did anybody ask, like, is he on probation? What's going on? until you look at the person who's making these decisions ultimately, going head first into the Ezra Miller storm, is a guy who just a couple years ago popped up on a list of chartered flights to, let's call it a billionaire's kiddie playground. It's not too unsimilar to what James Gunn had not too recently that has seemingly vanished out of people's minds. So the attitude is, hey, come here. No, listen, man. No, I understand. No, you're fucked right now, but listen. This is how we'll get out of it. Let's just stop talking about it. Okay? Let's not talk about it. And then people will forget. And then you put out a movie, the movie's successful. So that, right, we got to make the movie successful. We got to make money. You have to get more popular. Everyone will forget. We'll figure out something on the back end with all those, there's a lot of stuff that we can get thrown out. We pay some people don't show up to testify, we'll wash our hands of it. But you just got to stay quiet. Now, the one thing Ezra Miller has not been successful doing for any extended amount of time, and it's been about 8 months now, is be quiet. My question to James Gunn is, if you're taking this approach of, people will forget about it and, we'll be okay, which is really insane coming from this studio, right? Let's compare to what they did with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp had a domestic dispute dragged out in front of the nation, right? But it was a domestic dispute nonetheless. There were some serious allegations within that as well, but they were proven to be false in a court of law. What did they do to Johnny Depp? Johnny Depp was gone before this case ever saw a day in court, ever. Gone from Fantastic Beasts. That's the Warner Brothers connection. Gone from Pirates of the Caribbean over here on Disney. Y'all got that man out of here. And now, the funniest thing about that, too, is he's still making a movie with the other half of that situation, which is utterly toxic at this moment. So at an opportunity where you have all rights, no one, the Snyder stands, the Cavill stands, the DC shills, no one on the DC side of anything is going to be mad at you if you tell me Ezra Miller's not coming back. No one's going to be upset. No one. You have a perfect opportunity to skirt a little bit of controversy and allow for some room of what you have to take from Amber Heard. But no. James Gunn is a white man in America, damn it. And if I can't skirt these circumstances, who the fuck can? I'm going to take Amber. I'm going to take Ezra. I'm going to do what I want to do because I do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mentality. It's very clear. Who is going to be something to behold, because a lot of their kickoff, right? We haven't even really gotten into the movies yet. A lot of their initial stuff that he talked about was the legacy stuff, the holdover stuff. Mm-hmm. What if that stuff flops? What if it falls on its face, Dark Phoenix style? The transition from what we believe is going to be Jason Momoa from Aquaman to Lobo, that's never been tried before. Not without a complete reboot, That these are big swings that he's taking. The content that he was talking about was a little underwhelming, but some of the casting decisions and their organizational structure, it's very ambitious. If the thing was returning to continuity and streamlining everything so that it's one brand, one voice throughout all the mediums, I don't know how we landed upon this. I mean, now that seems like a lot of lip service because there was it's just like, okay, we're going to take a little bit of what was left over that you guys kind of like, not Henry, but all the other things. And then I'm going to put a couple of my pet projects out there and see if you like it. And then, we'll end up at a Superman movie in 2025.